You know, as a former Navy pilot, I have a high level of expectation of performance of the people around me. And as a lifelong boater, I have a high expectation when I'm looking for waterfront property that that real estate agent that's guiding me can speak about boats. They understand docks, they understand lifts, they understand seawalls, they understand the boating life. Very candidly, that's a rarity in the real estate community. I've got my friend Leonard Cook with me today from RE/MAX WaterMarke, and we're going to talk a little bit of pilot stuff, a little bit of boater stuff to get you comfortable with the idea that when it's time to list and sell waterfront property, you need a high performance agent. Len, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
Now, as an old Navy pilot, you being an old and maybe a slightly older Canadian military pilot, I was amazed to learn that you, sir, were an F-86 pilot.
Yes, I sure was. And as you well know, the F-86 was the big airplane in the Korean War for the United States Air Force. Canadians didn't fly it there, but I have about 1,500 hours on it, and every one of them were enjoyable. And 1,500 hours in an F-86 is a lot of up and downs.
Yeah, one man, one engine, right?
Yeah, one man, one engine, 45 minutes to an hour 15 per trip, and it's a lot of up and down.
You're accustomed to performance and you're accustomed to the consequence of mistakes.
Absolutely.
Not good to make mistakes. Same in real estate. In your boating adventures, I've been a Queens Harbor guy and a waterfront kind of guy. Where's the sweet spot for you? If you were buying your dream boat today, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Unencumbered by the economics. This is a gift from HomePro. What would that Len dream boat be today?
We would probably do something with a trawler-style hull so that you've got good living space and good stability. And I don't know, maybe something in the 40, 45-foot range that we could almost live on.
You and I are looking for the same boat for exactly the same reason.
Really?
We're transitioning to live aboard part-time and then soon thereafter live aboard full-time. I've done
Excellent.
it before, I'll do it again.
Excellent.
So it's exciting, and I wanted to set the stage with that, Len, truly. As a former F-86 pilot, as a guy who loves the waterfront, lives around the waterfront, you truly understand how to guide a person to choose the right waterfront property. I respect that a lot. When you're first meeting with a person who maybe has a dream of waterfront, how are you helping them to choose which is the right body of water?
Well, that's interesting because most of the water around here is pretty nice. You know, the intercoastal, I fish a lot with a buddy on the intercoastal still, on his boat in this case, and it's much more economical.
Yeah, other
for me
people's
to do
boats,
that.
very affordable.
But also, of course, people who love to sail or who have the bigger boats, obviously lots of ocean, easy to get to the ocean. Lots of river where you can go for many, many, many miles, and beautiful scenery all the way. So it's hard to sort of say I would recommend that you go here, but it depends a lot on what the buyer is looking for.
Right.
You know, if they want marsh landing marsh,
Right.
that's one thing. If they want open water, it's another thing. If they want oceanfront, it's another thing. And those all have significant cost differentials and many factors to consider. You know, oceanfront is beautiful and wonderful, and most people seem to really enjoy it. But there are a lot of issues that go with waterfront.
But I can't keep my boat on the ocean.
You can't keep your boat on the ocean, that's right. A place like Queens Harbor is great. Harbor Island in Marsh Landing is great. And then there are lots of places between here and St. Augustine where you more individually can have a boat and a dock,
right,
back off some of the intercoastal.
And it's important too,
inlets.
how do they intend to boat? Are they a flats boater? Are they a sailboater? Are they a trawler guy? Are they go faster? Do they want lifts?
Exactly.
The fact that you can engage in those conversations to help them make the right choices is really important.
And of course, we've lived now in Queens Harbor for 19 years. So my experience in Queens Harbor with the lock, what it takes to build docks, you know, what it's going to cost to build a dock, when you might have to replace it. The kinds of things that you have to consider to live in a community like that with great access to the ocean or the intercoastal or the river, wherever you want to go, is something that it provides an education to you as you go through the years. And then you can pass a lot of that experience along.
Right.
We've got a British guy, David Cotton, who's our harbor master at Queens Harbor. He's been there for, I think, 30 years. The guy knows everything there is to know about boating, so whenever I used to get stuck, I'd go and ask him. And then, of course, I'd pass that on as my original knowledge.
No, knowing with your Canadian background, you're far too honorable to steal another man's thought. I know that's not true. You're teasing me.
Very good.
So, Len, you have so much knowledge. We could never possibly bring all that waterfront expertise and home listing and selling expertise into the time that we have. What is the right best way for people to get a hold of you and just sit down and talk waterfront houses?
Well, I probably, the single best way is probably through my web page, which is beachhomesjax.com. And of course, I'm available all the time via phone, text, email,
gotcha,
whatever. But that's probably
the anchor, since we're talking boating, is beachhomesjax.com.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's a good place to spend some time.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Well, and it has, I think that has a nice ring to it too, in terms of sort of suggesting the kind of things that I try to do well.
I believe that. I want to thank Leonard Cook for being with us. I want to thank him for his service of making sure that during his time in the F-86, none of the bad guys came over the tundra to get the rest of us who are here down south. You have a beautiful day.